morning everyone. I have a tutorial to share with you. I had a lot of questions on the Smile mini album that I did, the one that I gave away for United Way that got raffled off. So I pretty much just took a lot of different ideas from a lot of people's albums and put it together to make my own album. And some of the pages I couldn't even remember where they came from. So I figured I would make another album and just kind of go through it. I'm not going to do start to finish because I have two of them going right now. So I can kind of jump in between to show you what it looks like when you cut it out and then what it kind of looks like as you're putting it together. So I decided to do Halloween, and for the base of my album I'm actually using this My Mind's Eye Haunted. This is one from last year. I have tons of Halloween paper from last year, so excuse me. This one is all craft paper, so you don't have to worry about double-sided. I figure it is a little thin, but with matting pages and stuff like that, I think it'll be fine. So I'm using this one for my foundation of my mini album. And then I have this one, which is also from last year, Teresa Collins, Haunted Hallows. And this is the one I'm going to be using for matting and stuff like that. So it just has all the bright oranges. It's still black and white or black and beige color and orange in it. So pretty much those are going to be my colors, but this is what I'm going to be using. And then this morning I had to go to Michael's to get some glue. I usually use the Scotch Quick Dry glue, and I've had that a bottle forever and finally ran out, so I went to get another one, and I went with my coupon, and it was still $12.99 for a small bottle. They didn't have the big bottles, so I don't know if they're not going to carry it anymore. So I took a look and I found Aleene's Fast Grab tacky glue. So I'm going to give that a try. It's a much bigger bottle. It's like 8 fluid ounces. I can't remember what the other one is, but I think it's only like 3 or something like that, or 2.5 or whatever. And this was $8.99 and then 40 off coupon. So I'm going to give this one a try. Because whenever you're creating pocket pages, you don't want to use double-sided tape, because when you stick your tags in your pockets, they can get stuck on that double-sided tape that's in there. So it's always better to use a liquid glue, but I like the fast drying ones. So I'm gonna give this one a try. But they also had My Mind's Eye Wicked, which was on clearance already. I couldn't believe it. $14.99. This one is so cool. It's actually for a party. So in there you get all the sheets to make banners. These are cupcake toppers, so they're just round labels, and then you also get the cupcake wrappers. Those are drink labels, so you cut them out to label your drinks. And then there's a couple of treat bags. These are little straw tags. I thought that was so cute. And I'm not having a Halloween party. I'm not that type of person. And I don't decorate my house. These are all going to be put into my mini album, so you'll kind of see how I can take these things and twist them around. The only thing I might not use is these hats. They're super cute. Let's see if I can get it in there without a glare. Sorry, I have my window open for brightness. They're just pointy hats, but they also have brims. Like this round piece here is a brim, and then there's labels around them. And then these are invites. And then you get all these pattern papers and sheets of labels. So super cool. I love the vintagey look to it and the colors. It's really, really nice. So those are the invitations, and they'd be perfect for tags for mini albums. So I'm gonna do that. There's the brim to the hat. And there's another one. So you get 3 hats. So those are the brims, and then these are the actual hats. And these are the little straw tags. These, I have an excellent idea. That's gonna be awesome. Treat bag. So you get a couple of treat bags. Those I can always do it for the kids. This is the drink, the beverage labels, and these would be perfect to make belly bands. So you just cut them out, cut out your embellishment, put it in the middle, attach it on the sides, and there's your belly band for your mini album. So perfect. And then the cupcake wrappers. And there's the cupcake toppers. And again, cut it out and it's an embellishment for your mini album. Add some bling, some stickles, and the banners. And the banners, I might actually make a banner for my cubicle at work. Dress that up a little. Okay, so that is that. Put those down so they don't fall. So those are the papers that I'm using, and again, I'm doing this to mimic the album that I made. It was the Smile album, if you go back in my videos. Finished size, I think it was about 8 by 6, maybe a little bit bigger. So this one that I'm going to be doing is the inside pages are 7.5 by 5.5. And it is stack the deck style, so for the binding. So basically I'm going to do this in a couple of parts. The first video I'm just going to show you the inside pages construction, and then I think the second one I'll do the cover, and then I can do a finished, just to show you what my finished album all embellished and everything looks like. So if you have any questions, let me know. You can always pause, rewind, whichever. Okay, so the stack the deck, I'm sure everyone is familiar with this. Basically, you're just making strips to stack inside of your binding of your mini album. And what you want to do is have 1/2 inch on either side to attach your pages to, and then your gutter, which is the space that you're going to leave in between your pages for embellishments. Now I started off doing most of my mini albums at 1/4 inch, which is pretty small when you think about it, once you get flowers and stuff like that in. So these ones I do 3/8 inch. So basically what you start off with, your first strip is 1 3/8, and then you have to add 2 widths of your whatever you put on the inside, so that you have 3/8 here and 3/8 there. So the next one is 2 1/8, and the last one is 2 7/8, and that gives you 6 pages. So basically you just use the length of your page, so in this case 7.5. You're gonna use really good glue, so in this case I use my my quick dry, my wet glue. I have done some with Sukwang tape, sorry, that stuff's pretty good. I don't have the right size right now though. I only have the really tiny or the really big. So basically just glue them all together so that they are all even, and then when it's glued you have your strip. And magic of TV, ta-da! Here is my finished strip, and I've notched all the edges. I always do that on mine, and I've taped the sides. Now the taping sometimes depends on how you're going to put your album together. I just like to go ahead, and in this mini album you just need to tape one side, you don't need to tape both. And in this case I've also inked it up a little bit too, because you're going to see a tiny bit of them. So that's the binding. The first page was the one that had the 2 fold outs on it. So basically this is it. I also had magnets and I used a spinner on it. This one I'm altering just a little bit. Here is the base of the page. So this is your cardstock cut at 10 inches by 7.5 inches. So this is always the height of your book, and then 10 inches, and scored at 4.5. So this one we're going to fold over, and the sides, the top and the bottom are glued to form a pocket. So this one had a pocket, and then it had these flaps, which were on my original album. They were on the outside here. They had little tabs that had the magnets in them that held them down, and then little spinners on the edges. On this one I am moving them into the inside flap, So these ones here are 3 1/4 by 8 1/2, and you're going to score it at 4 and 8. And basically I said it that way because if you're using a pattern paper like me, I want this pattern paper to stick out. I'm not going to cover it. So you want to make sure you put your pattern paper down and you're scoring at 4 and 8. You can tell I made a mistake there. So that is your flaps. You want 2 of those, and what I do is do a border punch on the edge of this one. So in this mini album I'm using this one. It's I believe it's Martha Stewart. Yeah, Martha Stewart Spiderwebs. So sorry, there's gonna be lots of talking. So you make 2 of those, and in this case you have your little 1/2 inch flaps, and you're gonna cut little notches. I always cut little notches on all my flaps, and you're gonna place them in there and glue those flaps down before you create your pocket. So that way you have lots to work with here. So then you would have that. At that point, that's when I leave it. I don't actually glue this down yet because you might want to put a strip of paper in here to cover up your edge, because that's where your pocket's gonna go, and then this is where it's gonna be on your binding also. So you want to put your binding on first. Sorry, this way, because this is the front page. And then you would decorate your page after. So, sorry, it's going to be a lot of jumping around, I think. Here is my somewhat finished page. I haven't put them in my binding yet because I still have more to do. I had to go get glue. I ran out. So I have attached my flaps. So you can see these 2 flaps are attached. I've punched my edges, and at this point when everything was glued together, that's when I inked all my edges of my base paper. So basically everything is inked. I'm still not sure. I might do mats in here. I might not. I don't know yet. So I've matted the inside here, and I've also put my spinner on already before I've attached it to my mini album and before I've created my pocket. So at this point, I've decided I'm going to keep this one plain. At this point is when I'm going to take my quick dry glue and once I get it working, just run a nice thin line down the edges. And create my pocket. So then we have a pocket page. Okay. It's not so quick dry. And that page is ready to go in the album. So the back of this one is blank. Basically you would just mat it and decorate it how you want to. So I am going to get my binding here. And you decide how you want to, like if you like to do it backwards, you like to do it forwards. I kind of like to be able to see where the score line is, because you want it just to the side of it. You don't want it on top, you don't want it behind. So this will get covered up when I mat this page. So there is the first page of my mini album. It has a pocket and it has these little flaps. Okay. So these I'm just going to put off to the side for the next one. Okay, the next page, this one on the front side of the page had a pretty much like a photo mat there, and which flipped out and gave you a fold out section for more pictures and journaling. So all you need is a 5.5 by 7.5 sheet of paper for your page base. And then this sheet here is 5 by 12. And you're going to score along the 12 inches, the long side at 1/2 inch. And then on this side, you're going to score at 3 and at 9. And that's going to give you, you cut out your notches, cut out your edges that you don't need, and that gives you your fold in. Now make sure when you're cutting these ones here that you want to be on the right hand side of your score line, because you don't want it to be exactly in that corner there, or else it's not going to fold up nicely. Okay, so that's your sheet. You're going to kind of center it and glue it onto that page. Glue it down, and then that's going to be this side. And at that point you can decide what you want to do. On my original album, this is where I had the chipboard fan that just spun around, and that's what held it in place. So I haven't really decided yet on this Halloween one. So on the back side of that is where I had a waterfall. So I have my instructions here on the side. So this back side was a waterfall, but it was kind of a fake waterfall. So basically what you need is a 6 by 4, 4.5 by 4, and 4 by 4. And then all of these, you're going to score them at 1/2 inch on the top. You're going to cut out your little notches. The first one, the biggest one, is the one that actually gets attached to the page. So I think in this case I attached it on this side because you already have the other flap from the other side attached here. So I attached it on this side and make sure it's lined up right at the top. And then you're going to take your smallest piece, which goes on top, and this one is going to get glued right to the top edge. I know it's hard, all this brown on brown to see. So right to the top edge, it's going to get glued right there. And then you're going to take your next one with your fold and you're going to glue it so that it lines up right underneath. So like that. And then that will give you your waterfall. So here is my finished page. Here's the side. I've done my photo mats on the front, the photo mat here, and this one I decided to use a magnet. So you can see it's a little bulky. The inside I'm leaving blank because that's my pattern. It's like a slight little polka dot in there. And then this one, the magnet is right here. So this is when you're doing your foundation part of your mini album, this is where you would decide where you want your magnets and just tape them in with just sticky tape. So there's my magnet in there, and that's going to hold that closed. And then you got a photo mat, and then on the back side, I did actually, sorry, do it on the other side. I did both of them on this side. My little tabs. Back side is the waterfall, so there's the first page, second page, and the bottom, and then the whole thing goes up so that you have a whole photo mat. So this is the one that I haven't finished this side yet because this is the side that's going to be attached into the mini album. So take off my tape. I'm all thumbs sometimes. This one is more there we go. So then when I'm ready, I'll be matting this and covering that up and doing all of those. So there's 2 pages. Alright, third page. This one was the envelope. So you're just creating your own envelope out of the pattern paper, and on the Smile mini album I had fussy cut some flowers out of the paper line and attached them down the side a couple of layers with foam tape so that your pocket tucks in and that's what keeps it closed. So what you need for this is a 7.5 by 11 sheet of paper, and you're going to score it at 5.5 to create a full fold. And then the leftover strip is 4.5 inches, so you're just going to cut it down to 7.5. Score 1/2 inch on the long side, and then all I did was used a ruler to find the center. So find your center of your page, and then use a craft knife and a ruler to create your triangle. And basically that one is going to get attached to the back behind underneath there, and then your sides are going to be glued. And then before you do that, I punch a notch with my large, this one's Stampin' Up! Circle punch, and then that will create your envelope. So here is my envelope. I've got my notch in here, everything is inked up. It's the back side, so I just need to glue my edges. Get so quiet when I'm focusing. Go, press them down. I haven't decided what I'm gonna do to keep it down, but I'm sure with that new stack of paper there's tons of stuff that I could do. Okay, and that one is ready to go in the book. Sorry, I knocked the camera there. My table is wobbly. I'm sure you've noticed. Alright, 3 pages already. There. See, when you're doing lots of flips and flaps in there, it's good to have a bigger space in your gutters there. Okay, so that's the envelope. The next one is actually 2 pages together, and these ones were just pocket pages, but they also had tags that I had attached with magnets. So I'm not sure if I'm going to do the magnets this time. I think they stay in there pretty well, so I don't think it's going to be a problem keeping it in there. So for this one you need to cut 2 sheets of 7.5 by 11 and score them at 5.5. So same thing to get your pockets. So I have 2 of those. And then your tags are 8.5 by 4.5 and they're scored at 4.25. And I think I made these a little bit bigger this time just to give more space for photos. So when those ones are put together, these ones are different pattern paper, but same thing. Now I've also notched out to pull out the tags because these ones are going to have big tags also inside of the pockets. So I'm doing them staggered because this one's going to be down like this and that one's going to be up like that. So I think I just kind of measured in 2 inches and then went from there. And then I took this one, lined it up and punched it so they're in the same spot. Sorry, off frame. They're in the same spot, and then it just gets flipped like this anyways. So that is my pockets, and then my tags. So these ones need to be glued. Make sure I get enough glue there. This one needs to be glued. And then these two are ready to go in the book also. Now this one I pretty much just took my strips and put sticky tape down one side of each of them, so you might want to watch and decide which side you want to put them on, but okay, make sure you put these on the right side also. So this one goes first. Just gonna slide it in place. And then this one goes next. And I have a plan to cover this one up because I did want to keep the striped paper there. So first one tag. There's the other tag. So there we go. We're one page left. Okay, so the last page, this is my favorite. This is the fold out that has a twine binding on it. So just need 5.5 by 7.5 for your base, and then you need 2 pieces 5.5 by 7, and these ones are scored with 1/2 inch and then at 4.5 inches. And these ones are going to fold up to create pockets, so you want to find the center and give a notch in there if you want, or if you don't want to, that's fine. So you 2 of those, and then what you're going to do is attach one to the top and one to the bottom, and these 2 are going to go together. And this is where my Smile mini album, I used circle cutouts and brads to look like one of those mailing envelopes that has the like the inner office mailing envelopes, and used twine. This one is a little different. Now if you're going to do this with brads, you want to do it before you construct your envelope, or you can do it right onto the pages that you're matting this with. So to explain, I'll show you mine. I have used these googly eye brads. Love them. They've been in my stash for a while. So what I did was I actually attached the brads to my patterned paper that I was matting with. So you just decide where it's going to go, push it through. So I don't have anything in here. If I do go in here, that's where I would use a piece of tape, just regular Scotch tape, to cover up the brad, like the prongs, so that whatever tag you're putting in there is not getting stuck on those prongs. So they're a little close, so I kind of have to push it in. So really, I guess I didn't need the twine, but I like that. So when I put this one in, before I tied this piece of twine onto the stem of the brad, and then same thing, I did it on my patterned paper so it doesn't come through, because I really wanted the inside of this one to have these patterned papers in it, because I just like the look of that. And then, so when it closes up, you just have to push it a little, and then you bring your twine and wrap it around. I just love how that looks. It's super cute. Okay, so this is our last page to attach into the album, and I use the blank one first and end it with my fold out. So